So the reason I asked the question about the minimum wage aspect is why it shouldn't be raised, is I was looking to see if there was anybody that was going to be really honest about it, because I'm just going to level with you. The reason why most people don't want minimum wage raised, if they're being completely intellectually honest, which most people are not going to be, is because all of their wealth is saved in dollars, and they want their dollars to maintain spending power. That's it. That's the answer. That's the answer I was looking for. I was looking for some honesty to find out, like, why do you don't want minimum wage to be increased? Now, you could say, like, because I've heard all the talking points. I mean, you think I haven't read all these guys? I mean, Friedman, you think I don't know these guys? Like, dude, no, come on. I understand the arguments these guys make. The problem is the dollar is a fiat currency printed from nothing. And you've subrogated your responsibility to maintaining value to somebody else. In other words, you get what I'm saying? You have put it on a bunch of criminals, okay, running island programs and all that other bullshit. You're letting them control the value of your currency. And so you don't want the minimum wage raised in dollars because you want to maintain the value that you saved all your money in, which you should not have done, right? So let me delve into this a little deeper here, because this is important that you understand this. Let's say that you got off the boat from Alaska. I don't know, it's like 1900. You get off the boat from Alaska, you're pulling with Puget Sound, and you get in, you see this town in disarray that's being built, Seattle, and you go to the gold exchange window, right, where you take your little bag of gold where you just spent 6 months to a year, mining, sluicing, panning, etc., your gold, and you trade it in for what? Paper dollars. Not real estate, not 25 years added to your life, not health and prosperity. Like, no. You traded it in for paper notes, right? And those paper notes on there say, like, hey, we promise to pay you some gold in the future, maybe, possibly, if we haven't already spent it, right? There's a reason why bank runs were a big thing, going back. I mean, you ever wonder why it is that so many people, if you watch old movies, I think more of you need to watch a lot more old movies and old TV shows. Go like the 50s, okay, like old movies. And you'll hear these little comments from people that are like, I don't trust banks. There's a reason people didn't trust banks. It's because banks would take your gold, give you paper, and then they would spend all the gold. Or they would loan more gold out than they had paper to back, load more paper out than they had gold to back it. And it would create what's called a bank run. That's why. Okay, so no, I'm not a simpleton. I do understand that raising minimum wage will not solve poverty. Come on, okay. Do you really think that I don't know that? Of course I know that. Of course I know that. It's not going to solve poverty. Raising minimum wage, what it will do is take down the dollar and then take down the United States. If you follow my work, I don't know if some of you think that I'm like, this is just a character that I'm playing, and I'm kind of like joking about all this stuff. Like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to take down the entire United States government? No, I'm being dead serious. That's my stated mission, right? Is to take down all of this because it's a lie, and then let a real economy emerge, right? And then if you're talking about a hard currency, then obviously you can't have a minimum wage. In fact, it doesn't work that way. For those of you that bring up the small business aspect, as if any of you would have any idea what you're talking about, but I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like some of you have been parroting this shit for too long, and it's like it's not like there isn't a wealth of information out there. I've written article after article on this stuff. I've done video after video after video on this stuff, and the dollar, for example. That's what you're trying to protect, right? So if you have a hard currency, then you don't really need a minimum wage. And then as far as the small business aspect of it is concerned, your small businesses don't have to really worry about minimum wage. Did you know that? Because see, if you actually are a small business owner, if you're the owner, you and your wife work there, you're exempt from that anyway. Right? You're exempt from wages altogether. You're not required to pay yourself anything. I did that with my employees all the time. I would make them shareholders, right? I would sell them a chunk of the company, and they didn't have to be paid a specific wage. And they made way more money. But but it's like the thing is that that's how you would set that stuff up. So small businesses will get around it just fine. Big companies like Amazon, they're fucked. All of the mega companies out there, they're completely screwed. You understand? If minimum wage were to go up to, like, say, $750 to $1,000 an hour, right? They're hosed, all of those companies, because that will collapse all of their dollar value, which is what you want. Right? This is chess, not checkers. Okay, so you're not trying to solve world poverty or hunger by raising minimum wage. That's not what it is. It's that you're destroying the currency so that you can make room for an honest currency. You got to make room. And I feel I've been very clear about this in the past. So when I ask the question, why is it that so many people are resistant to raising minimum wage, and then I get the same Limbaugh, Friedman, von Mises bullshit arguments back? It's like, none of those are real arguments when you're talking about a currency conjured out of nothing, right? Those are not real arguments. You could say that if you were paying people in hard currency, then you'd have an argument. But in other words, you're dealing with, here's the difference. I'm a physicist. I'm not a philosopher. Philosophers deal with what the world could be possibly in some alternate universe. Physicists deal with what is right now in front of you, dealing with this scientifically and using physics, okay, to topple the empire. That's how you do that. Okay, so I'm not trying to lecture you on this. I'm genuinely saying that's why I asked that question.